What's up, everybody out there in internet world? Hold on, I got something that triggered here. Destination. Oh, Instagram. Yeah, we're not going to Instagram. That's okay. What's up, internet world? Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm here in the studio with Tim Falvey of Uncle Tim's Bench. Stoked to have him here. Oh, hope you guys are doing well out there. Is that coming in? Where's that coming from? There's like a. Did you know there was like a repeat of the audio?
That may have been.
Oh, your phone. Gotcha. So Tim's over there. You can hear him. You can hear him. He was going on to share the feed, and I was confused because I thought maybe it was on my thing, and I was sending out the audio twice. He's just going to share it on his profile. So.
Yeah, it works. The audio works.
Okay. All right. So it's all working. But it's really tripping.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why that happened.
It's okay. All right. We're good?
Ready or not?
All right, here we go. All right, so
tell your story, man.
Let's do it. All right, so Tim just got back from a trip to New York. We're going to get into travel, music. Tim's going to play some songs for us. He's going to talk about sort of his journey geographically, as well as his time here in Charleston. I'm excited to dig into that. I've known Tim for a while now. I feel like there are some parallels that at least that I feel and that I relate to in Tim's story and mine. He's got actually he's going to be using my first guitar that I ever bought today to play music today, which is pretty cool because as Tim embarks on a new chapter of his life in a new place, that I did the same thing with that guitar, and that's a guitar that I took out to Long Beach, California. So I don't know, just there's something kind of cool in there, some kind of real life poetry. I don't know that I have a lot else to say. Let me think real quick. I've been in a fog today, you guys, so please bear with me. I've got 3 different drinks here. I've got an elderberry tea, water, and hot cocoa. So just trying all the different things, seeing if it will help. I think that's all I've got to say. The Grove. You know what? No, what I should say is Tim is going to be here again next Wednesday with the band, and we could talk about it a little bit. And then on next Thursday, we have Holland Bell and Riley Hills are going to come in here and share some songs and conversation as well. I'm excited to be doing this kind of thing. Getting people in the studio and getting to talk a little more in depth about music and people's journeys and perspective on music, how they learn how to be better, the experiences that they have, because everyone's got a different story, everyone's got a different perspective, and everybody's got value to offer in conversation. And you can learn something from everyone. So I'm really excited to be able to have those conversations just for myself, but also to be able to share them. And I'm excited for the state that the studio is in. Without any further ado, I'm going to switch it over here so we can see Mr. Tim Falvey and get this thing going. Feel free to throw comments in the chat. There he is.
Made it to the Grove.
Feel free to throw comments in the chat. I'll be able to put your comments up on the screen so Tim can see them. We'll be able to see them and go back and forth with you guys. But without any further ado, how was New York, Tim?
A whirlwind. Last trip was 6 days long. Did some networking, did some singing, did some exploring, and I'm already itching to get back up to the big city.
I'm thinking. I almost want to. You know what? I'll play. Maybe I was thinking I would lead with this video that I made of. Would you want to watch this video of our previous conversation? Maybe I'll just post. No, I'll just send it to you.
I think it'd be worth checking out. Yeah.
All right. It's a short little video. Let's see. Let me try this here. We'll switch it. Go 5 seconds. 5 seconds. There we are. Here's the video. So let's listen to it. There was a time where I went to New York where I thought for the first time, I've been there a number of times just for short spells. There was one time where for the first time I wasn't intimidated by the city anymore. And maybe that's foolishness, but that sort of gave me a new appreciation where I thought, wait a second, I feel like I finally understand enough about how it works where I feel like I could figure out my way in this place. And in that way, it was really compelling. And the willingness to go discover the unknown is one of the more valuable things. Maybe that's one of the valuable things that we can do as artists. And that's is what we can do is actually go into the unknown, go to places that maybe other people aren't willing to, and then we can tell those stories and tell the truth about those stories. And that is an inherent value. But you got to be willing to go take it on. But then maybe there's also just like an internal, just you want to take on the wild or something, right?
We are frontiers folk as artists. We as musicians, I feel, are more accessible as artists, as storytellers than varied other kinds of artists. We, in a way, are the art itself, because as practitioners of music, in performing live, we are tangible human beings and deliverers of a message, not just a static painting on a wall.
Being able to perform in a number of different places with others, where you have sort of established the ability to go do shows in different towns and have reliable people that you can connect with and throw a show that works. And for me, when you first talked to me about that, I thought that sounds really challenging, and that sounds like it's going to be wrought with or very prone to failure, because a lot of times music takes practice, and to be able to deliver something solid with other musicians, they have to really be able to dial in on what you're doing. However, we just did a show where we practiced together for a while, not like relentlessly for a year or anything like that, and we're able to pull it together. And I think maybe you could talk about how you see that working, or why, even if the music itself isn't, like precise funk or something, like precise, that you're still able to deliver a show that's meaningful to people, and that is accessible.
Yeah, you're referencing our performance a couple weekends ago at Common House Ale Works in North Charleston here in South Carolina. And that would be a good case in point of the type of performance I care to put on. Rally together a group of musicians who have no business hanging out together in the first place, but somehow establishing a buy-in to create something where there wasn't something there before, to create something beautiful out of imperfect parts, and to give people who are listening to the music a reason to smile.
I'll use that to segue into, maybe you can talk a little more about what Uncle Tim's Bench is, the name and what the name means, because certainly Uncle Tim's Bench it lived up to its name for me. And yeah.
Sure. It all started and continues at a park bench at Waterfront Park in Charleston at the harbor here. And it's a place where I've spent countless hours busking or street performing to collect tip money for singing songs on the street. It was at that place where I really honed my belief that I could make a living as a musician, and a place that has continued to reinforce my craving for more and more and more and more chances to perform, to be in front of people, to share stories, to develop and redevelop and refine songs of my own. Uncle Tim's Bench has taken on a grander life, a highly, almost to a detriment, a highly inclusive and inviting spirit for almost all musicians to.
That's one of the catch lines is Uncle Tim's Bench, room for almost everyone. And
if you're wondering why almost everybody, well, if you're hesitant to come or you don't feel like you want to, well, you don't have to play. You will never see an Uncle Tim's Bench perform.
I think that's a good spot. So I think it's kind of it's cool to let's get back to the main screen here. There we go. think it's cool to reflect on that a little bit. No, a little
I
bit.
agree. This was
Yeah.
what 2 years ago, 3 years, 2.5 years ago.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly when it was, but yeah, I think it was at least 2 years. And first, well, Tim was the first guest on my podcast, and he kind of got the ball rolling with this for me. Helped me kind of. He was a willing guinea pig in a way, and so I appreciate that. And so it's cool to get to have you back here before you embark on this next segue, next leg of your journey. How about we start with a song?
Okay.
Would that be all right? I think
Yeah.
let's do that.
Let's do this. In all its glory, this Old Faithful guitar from Long Beach, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. My fingers will come alive just touching it.
There was a lot of stories with that guitar. I'll tell a really, really short one. That
Love to hear it. Yeah.
one time, one of my first gigs that I ever had in Outer Banks, North Carolina, one of my strings broke and the peg popped out. The peg for the string popped out and it fell. It disappeared. And so I was at a gig now. I'm down to 5 strings. This is one of my first gigs, so I don't even know how to play with 5 strings. And I don't have a peg. And I just, essentially, as silly as it might sound, I trusted God that it would work out. And I found a nail in a crack of the wood of this deck where I was playing. And the nail was a perfect fit into the peg hole and held the string in. And yeah, I don't know. It was from that point I always felt like when I had this guitar with me, everything was going to be okay.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
a good feeling. I'll play a little something called Bowery Bank is Burning. That's the remix, but we'll get the real deal. Just a tank and a half up I-95 to Bowery Bank where it's 9:30. Lower East Side rolls out the red carpet to a castle in the sky. When the mornings grip a little bit colder, dear, and my microphone blasts a little bolder, dear. The snow falls danker and darker and dirty. Young blood bleeds a little older, dear. Well, Bowery Bank is burning, burning, and a D-line is running late. It was 9:30 when the gears stopped turning, but Midtown don't have to wait. Bowery Bank is burning, burning, and a D-line is running late. It was 9:30 when the gears stopped turning, but Midtown don't have to wait. I've been bleeding such a smug and bloody smile from cutting teeth on greasy subway tile while painting Grand Street Station red. Hey, let's take off our coats and stay a while. With the mornings grip a little bit colder, dear, and my microphone blasts a little bolder, dear. The snow falls danker and darker and dirty. Young blood bleeds a little older, dear. Well, Bowery Bank is burning, burning, and a D-line is running late. It was 9:30 when a gear stopped turning, but Midtown don't have to wait. Bowery Bank is burning, burning, and a D-line is running late. It was 9:30 when a gear stopped turning, but Midtown don't have to wait. Generally speaking, it's a song about chasing your dreams, dreaming defiantly, dreaming big, dreaming even if it's impossible. For me, it's a dream about moving to the big city, making a little noise. I wrote the lyrics to this song 4 years ago, put it to music a year and a half ago, and very quickly became one of my favorite tunes to play. Bowery Bank is burning, burning. 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 Bowery, Bowery, Bowery. Bowery Bank is burning, burning, and the D-line is running late. It was 9:30 when a gear stopped turning, but Midtown don't have to wait. There's an urgency and a criticality to pursuing your dreams. There's also a fun and an adventure to it. Bowery Savings Bank on Bowery Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan has a analog clock perpetually stuck at 9:30, and that was the original kernel to start the poetry to this song. Every time I walk past that clock tower on that bank facade, it's still 9:30.
That's kind of cool. Well, that sounds great.
Hey, thanks.
Let's. I'm trying to track my mind back to the video, the way that it opened up in the first thing that we were talking about. But let's just talk about let's talk about Charleston and let's talk about New York. Is that?
I'm happy to. Yeah.
So, I'm really curious about this next leg of the journey and going into New York and how that's going to unfold and kind of how you're thinking, because when you start moving into a new place, it's just full of exploration and discovery and learning and and mapping a lot of different things out. At least that's the way it is for me. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but that's the way it is for me. And so it's a really exciting time. There's probably a lot that you're thinking about, a lot that you're not sure of. I don't know, that kind of stuff. And so I'm really excited to kind of see how things are coming together, even though it's still early stages. You've been traveling to New York now for what?
6 months. Every month I've been going up there doing what I call field work, just orienting myself to the big city, networking the heck out of it as much as able, gigging and open micing, and enjoying it, watching as many shows as I can while I'm up there as well.
How do you feel? How how have the open mics been? And have you gone to open mics in different parts of town?
I have. I'm very comfortable going. I think one of the reasons I did open mics to begin with was to teach myself how to perform and to become accustomed to the idea of exposing live art to strangers. And having been doing that religiously and obsessively for years now, it doesn't pose the same challenge mentally that it used to. 7 years in the Charleston music scene full time, I feel like conditioned me for any type of musical activity I go into, whether it be a gig somewhere or show up in New York City for an open mic. I'm conditioned for it at this point, whether it's the first open mic I go to in that city or find another town and go to. I'm not challenged by it in the same way, so I look for other opportunities to train myself to become a better person, to become a better artist when I go to these ones.
Do you feel like there's much clear difference between a Charleston open mic and a New York open mic?
I don't think I could identify that. I think
they're pretty similar.
I wouldn't say that either, but collectively as two places or two things. You go to one Charleston open mic, you've gone to one Charleston open mic. Every venue is different. Yeah. Every host is different. The culture around that particular restaurant or bar is different. Yep. And I don't think I could compare or contrast one to the other. I'm sure aggregately there's a cultural difference in a environment like New York versus a Charleston one, but for me, you boil it down, it's you inviting strangers into your life and mind with song at any and every open mic, New York or Charleston.
Do you feel like there's a good open mic scene in New York?
Ooh, okay. This is something that really, really troubled me in the couple years, 3 years that I traveled pre-COVID in and outside of New York. And there are a lot of pay-to-play type open mics. And I get it. Everybody needs to make a buck. The promoter needs to make a buck. The venue needs to make a buck. The host needs to make a buck. But why are the artists the ones paying all of these people? It was contradictory to what I thought an open mic should be. Not all open mics in the city have been like that. The last one I went to, you show up and you play. Everybody was nice, and it was a community-based atmosphere. Charleston, I don't know that I've ever even heard of such a concept. That you pay to play in an open mic.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I heard of one in L.A. one time, I think, that it was that way. But it was, I think, only one.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah, and there's not all of them are like that in New York, but I've avoided the ones that are.
So how do you feel like you're plugging into the city? Like, what's your mental approach? Like, you said you're going to a lot of shows. Maybe you've gone to some open mics. Are you just trying to immerse yourself in everything? Are there particular parts of town that you're more interested in? Anything? Yeah, something along those lines.
General attitude is to observe and absorb right now. Soak it in and study silently. Strategies include watching as many shows as I can with intention at the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, which is the premier world-class target for world-class artists from all over the world. Dancers, singers, classical symphony performers, jazz artists, all descending upon the big city of New York to create beautiful sound and dance. So one of my targets is Lincoln Center. If I'm going to go watch a show, it will be there because I want to observe the best, study from the best, and hopefully take notes on why they're the best so I can continue to grow in my course. So watch as many shows as I can of high caliber performer in world-class setting. Second approach is to walk everywhere I can and take the subway everywhere I can just to build a mental map of the circuitry of the city so that when I'm in a pinch down the road, I know how to get from A to B with no money and only a sock, a toothpick, and some bubble gum, and I can survive, right? Study music, study the infrastructure, and put myself in positions where I can expose myself to professionals in the industry.
So let's use that to segue. I'm gonna ask you a little bit of a tougher one. So this I'm gonna see how to frame this. I'd like to hear you talk about. Well, let's set it up by saying, okay, in Charleston, Charleston is known as at least I've heard, it's the number 2 wedding destination in the world. I don't know if that's actually true, but I've heard that from a number of different sources, or I've seen that. So regardless, it's definitely a popular wedding destination. There are a lot of private events, a lot of weddings, a lot of bars and restaurants, venues, and not an insane amount of competition to the point that, somebody of your caliber can make a decent living here playing music. It's available to you. And going to New York is, I believe, going to be certainly way more challenging. The budgets available to upcoming musicians and the competition that you're up against, I think, is probably going to be similar, on par with what you would experience in Nashville, which is just inundated with people trying to make it. And so, what part of the angle or the wavelength that I'm trying to think on here is, can you explore and talk about what drive? Like, if you talk to a business person, they would say, "What are you doing? You go this direction. Like, the money's here, go this direction, right? It's there for you. You could develop. You could have more stability and allow you the chance to the freedom and time to develop. I have been here a while, but what? I can relate this to some extent because I bought a graffiti van and drove all over the country and into Mexico and got to play with the Federales, and I lived in my car in Long Beach, and that's how I got started doing music. Is driving out to L.A. with a dream, and connecting with people, and kite surfing, and playing open mics, and all that, and so I get it, and I would just like to talk to you about, do you have fears? What drives you to want to leave what you have here and take on this new chapter? You aren't a spring chicken either. You're not. I mean, you still got a lot of years ahead of you, I'd say. But it's not necessarily. It's a time where I think many people would find it difficult to make that kind of leap. You know, and so I'm just If you could talk just kind of about what makes it worth it to you, what convinces you that this is the way, something along those lines.
I love a challenge.
Okay.
I think I would stand to get bored and complacent, and my growth would slow or backtrack if I wasn't afraid. And I am scared shitless of going to New York. I am scared shitless. Charleston, I figured out my way to do Charleston. And there's always something to learn and grow from and figure out, I suppose, depending on your attitude. But I think it's time to go to a place where I haven't figured my way out. And to me, New York appears to be the most daunting American city to do so. I know that there's a density of artists from all over the world in the confines of that place, hungry and itching to do good and be good and learn. Not just do good and be good and learn, but do the best and be the best and learn more. And I think I, at this phase, need a little more intensity to jolt me into perfecting what I'm doing and where I'm going, which is to travel the world and sing songs. That's always been the vision as an artist. Travel, sing, travel. Travel, sing, travel.
It reminds me of I was homeschooled in like sixth and seventh grade, and at some point I just thought I can't do this because I'm gonna be too complacent. So I took myself back to public school, even though I had so much sort of freedom and ability to kind of do whatever I want. It was just I knew it was not going to be the long-term thing. I needed to put myself in a different situation. You said in the video we watched, you talked about that we as artists are the art itself. Yeah. Maybe how does that relate to your travel? Is that part of it? Is the development you develop yourself, and it's a journey, and if you aren't willing to take on your journey, then are you even an artist? What are you standing for? Do you feel like there's principles on some level that you sort of must uphold to maintain what you feel is yourself, or what you feel is your integrity, something along those lines?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm accountable for the message that I've offered to countless musicians in Charleston. You got to get up, man. Tell your story, man.
Yeah.
Turn the corner, man. Sing your song, right?
Yeah.
I am accountable for that. And if I didn't turn that corner, if I didn't build my stage, there's nothing waiting for me in New York.
Yeah.
If I didn't build it, my life advice to fellow creators to get up, man, and tell your story and build your stage, it would be nothing worth listening to.
I totally get it. You feel like you can lose a part of yourself or lose who you are. You make different choices, and that it's kind of like you don't get to pretend to be something. You are whatever it is you are, and you are whatever you do. Would you since you brought it up, how would you feel about playing that song?
Reveille?
Yeah.
I would be proud to. Yeah, this is the song for all the musicians watching in on this podcast. And I couldn't play this for you if I didn't follow my own advice. Me going to New York to do music is me taking the challenge of Reveille. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up. Tear out the pages, man. But burn the book. Turn in the script, man. Don't you dare take another look. Turn the corner, man. Set the pace. Take that step, man. Take that step, man. Run your race. Gotta get up, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up. Somewhere at the crossroads, at a corner of Calhoun and King, a young man dances naked in the pelting rain. And a squeaky street sweeper sings a 5 a.m. a requiem for my bestest friend and me. In the red, green glow, gold light of Reveille. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up. And shout out to all our friends tuning in right now. Thank you, Fawn. Reveille, tell your story. I couldn't tell people to do that if I wasn't doing that myself.
Yep.
I have to go.
Yep. Yep, that's true. I don't know for sure if it's true that you have to go, but I do know that it's true that
Okay. We'll flip that. What if I didn't go?
Well, I'm not trying to argue with you, but
I cannot picture growing as a human being.
Yeah.
I've learned everything I could to feed and nurture the craft and the vocation. If I didn't go, I think I would be miserable. Charleston has fed me and taught me and granted me so much. But I think as a bird leaving the nest, you gotta go. Gotta spread the wings, right?
So for me, Rita says, "Go try be."
Right.
So, for me, this song to me is the most important song that I've heard in Charleston. I think I can say that. To me, it's the most memorable, most important song that I've heard since being in Charleston, which I've been here for 6 years. So I don't think that's a small statement. And I just think, yeah, what you said is when you talked about this is a song for the artists. But I think it's more than that. It can be for anybody. It's the quest, the call to get up, and the urgency of now, the urgency, and that sometimes I think this is probably true. I think this song is relatable to everybody, really, because it's easy to get complacent. I mean, even I don't even really want to say this, but like getting stuck in your phone scrolling, right? I mean, how many people get lost in your phone, and then you don't take action on the development of your life and your purpose and what you can do and what you can actually bring to the world, and that it's just such a visceral. There's a better word. It's a primal. It's almost primal. A call to get up, and it's a wake up call. It's
literally
almost
what the word could be defined as, reveille.
okay.
Réveil meaning to wake up in French, anglicized into the word réveille, which is the name for the bugle call in the morning at the flag on your military installations. Something along the lines of reveille. You might recognize that.
Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah.
That's what that is. Reveille. Wake
Okay.
up. It's time to wake up and
Okay.
get your life started.
That's pretty
Or your
cool.
day started. Yeah.
So I would be curious to see, because that's the way for me how I feel about this song. And I know you've talked about this isn't necessarily your favorite song that you've written, but you would agree that it's
It's important.
it's an important song.
I do think that it is the message, the central message of my catalog of music. Get up. Get
So
up.
I would be really curious to, sometimes it would be great if you could just if you could talk to God, or he could whisper to you, or you could get like a bird's eye view of all the different people, what you did actually, what it actually did, how it actually impacted people, because I'd be really curious to know how many artists in Charleston this song really uplifted, and to what extent this song uplifted them. A lot of times we as artists, it's easy to think that success as an artist is sort of achieving, getting a song on the radio, or getting, it's sort of put into you that that's what success is, or on some level the success needs to be the success of your career. But art and career aren't the same thing. And while it would be great, if we get a little more for what we're doing, but that's just not the way the world works sometimes. And I would just be interested to see, I feel like you've certainly made an impact on Charleston, and I think sometimes, I guess what I would say too is, people don't appreciate what they have, and people don't even know what they have sometimes. And I think that's something of what I think for you in Charleston. I feel like what you've done with art here, it's like, man, one day hopefully people can understand it a little more. But I think maybe there are a lot of artists and a lot of different individuals that you have impacted. But I don't know that there are a lot of poets quite like you that are articulating, if you guys listen to Tim's lyrics, he tells real stories of what's actually happened in Charleston. I mean, that's what I gather anyway. There's a lot of different sort of actual, it's not just like a Disney story. It's like actual stories that happened.
Yeah, they are at minimum semi-autobiographical accounts of my life. Every one of the songs that I've crafted. Some of them are very, very explicitly a diary, right?
Maybe it's partly like everyone's so tapped into their phones and what's coming from Hollywood movies, or what's on their Facebook, and are they looking good enough, or these kinds of things, that they just don't even know when they hear something that's real. And so that's also one of the reasons I'm excited for you to go to New York, because maybe there is a different kind of reception that you'll get and a different kind of appreciation for what you do. I'm really hopeful that that's the case. But it would be. I feel like Charleston has missed out on some really great art that you've made, and the ability to sort of witness that in the time that you've been here. So I went on a monologue there, but let's maybe you can talk a little bit about your experience and some of I'm saying that from my vantage point. What has been your experience?
Sure. Well, first of all, the autobiographical nature of the material is important to the identity of my craft. I may or may not have a difficult time fabricating stories, but the silver lining in that is I don't have to make up a story. Like, all of my songs are simply notations of life experiences that already happened. The creative part to me is just the wordplay and the delivery. I'm grateful to hear that, your affirmation that other artists have probably been impacted by messages of my songs in Charleston. I'm not done, everybody. Charleston,
Yeah.
I'm not done. So
I'm talking.
the impact that I have always cared to have, I truly hope will be fortified in the gauntlet that will be New York City. And the impact that you might experience down the road might be through the airwaves instead of seeing me sitting on my park bench or outside the city market on Church Street playing music. You might hear it that way. And you might also, based on knowing the story, the roots, the present, and where I hope to go, maybe that'll be inspiration for you to keep getting up, man. Keep doing it. Somebody's doing it, all right? That you can count on. Even if I don't make it in the sense of financial success or notoriety, which I am gunning for, even if I don't do that, like, I'm still going for it, everybody. I'm still going for it, and you can count on that. Bank on that, all right? I'm not, there is no tapping out here. I am not conditioned to relinquish the effort and surrender.
At the end of the day, that's all you can control. And I think we are rewarded for our hard work and our efforts when we make something that's good quality. I think in general we are rewarded for it. But there's also I don't think it's a mystery to anybody that the world overall isn't in some incredible state. It's the world is a wild mess of good and evil. That's the way I see it, and it's changing all the time. And good is not necessarily rewarded. Just being good doesn't mean you're going to get a reward. Sometimes the reward for being good, if we go in a biblical direction, it's pretty dark.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful.
So,
yeah.
I think that, I guess I'd like to say, I kind of want to say that too. Sometimes it's just nice to hear when other people get it or share that view, because sometimes you can have such a pressure that you think life is supposed to turn out a certain way. But the reality is, what happens to you, the results are not necessarily it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with how you conduct yourself. You yourself know, and you just got to be honest to yourself. Are you doing what you should be doing? And if you feel that you are doing what you should be doing, then that's it.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
All right, that ends the podcast. Have a good night, everybody.
Do you feel like playing another song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a request from the audience or from the host?
We got a few folks that are viewing, and anybody that's viewing that has a particular UTB song that you'd like to hear. I could say.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah. Okay.
This one is in short about a gal from Long Island. Let me grab one of my guitar picks here for this humdinger. A belt loop linker with a slick middle finger. He was, Lord, yes, he was. A bleach blonde crimple with a little thing for a singer. She was, yeah. He thinks, why waste my time? But that smile is so pretty, even harder to catch than a flight back to New York City. Oh, there's a one-way, can't wait. Got that boy, he's so witty. I hold my breath for you, only till I get dizzy. An agitated thinker and a rock star on a brinker. He was, Lord, yes, he was. A straight ka-ching, ka-ching, looking like a tall drinker. She was, yeah. He thinks, why waste my time? But that smile is so pretty, even harder to catch than a flight back to New York City. Oh, this one-way, can't wait. Got that boy, he's so witty. I hold my breath for you, only till I get dizzy. Thinking he might bring her with him strolling down the Kinger. He was, Lord, yes, he was. Had no plans to linger, just looking for a little flinger. She was, yeah. He thinks, why waste my time? But that smile is so pretty, even harder to catch than a flight back to New York City. Oh, this one-way, can't wait. Got that boy, he's so witty. I hold my breath for you, only till I get dizzy. Till I get dizzy. Till I get dizzy. Yeah. Till I get dizzy. Well, he ain't got forever, but he'll still take his time. She's only got 10 minutes to make up her little mind. Leave it to the universe to get her there on time. Hey, give me a call when you miss your flight. A belt loop linker with a slick middle finger. He was, Lord, yes, he was. A bleach blonde crimple with a little thing for a singer. She was, yeah. Till I get dizzy.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like, what do you do when you've been holding your breath so long you can't hold it any longer? You go, I don't know, maybe chase her down? Right? No, maybe not.
You get dizzy.
You get dizzy. Yeah, you get dizzy. You get dizzy. Just one of the ideas behind that tune. Mm-mm. I wanted to write something that in a key that I'd never written in before, and I found a major key that I'd never written in before, and I found F sharp to be one of 12 left to choose from. So all right, we'll do it. I wanted to write with chord shapes I'd never played with before, and I found one that I hadn't played with, so there we go.
It's nice.
I wanted to play in a time signature I hardly play in, so I'll write it in 3/4, and here we are.
That's a cool way to write.
Yeah.
Nice. I wrote a song about dizzy one time, but it's pretty different. I don't know.
Is it a dark tune?
No, I can't remember. It was like maybe the most sort of hip hop song I wrote.
Ooh,
I guess.
Okay then.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. I never completed it, but it was interesting. Anyway,
I'd be curious. I'd be curious to get
Yeah.
a little sneak peek at some point.
I probably have a recording. I could send it to you. Well, let's talk about Uncle Tim's. So I'll just throw out there. We have talked about all this going to New York and whatnot, and you did mention that it's not like you're going to be gone, and so you're going to be back in Charleston from time to time. I don't know. Are you going to be trying to be out there, out and about at all, or
So rhythmically, I'll be back to Charleston twice a month,
yeah?
and I do care to continue to breathe life into the brand and the ethos and the architecture of Uncle Tim's Bench. I don't know what that'll look like.
Sure.
But I do believe that there is a purpose for the project Uncle Tim's Bench, even without me being 100% physically present in South Carolina.
I do feel like once you're out in New York a lot, though, it's going to be tough to mentally. It's just tough to mentally exist in two places, and you've already kind of got Charleston mapped out. New York, I feel like even when you're back here, you're probably still going to want to be thinking about New York. You know what I mean?
I already miss it.
Yeah.
And I just got back on Tuesday,
Yeah.
a couple days ago.
Let's talk about Uncle Tim's Bench, and let's talk about your history in Charleston too a bit. This is so maybe it's not the entirely closing of a chapter. You're gone from Charleston, but I would say to an extent, I would say it is the closing of a chapter. It's gonna be different. And Uncle Tim's Bench, what it has been, or the prominence that it's had, maybe shifting, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong there, but can you just talk about a little bit? I mean, we talked in the past about what Uncle Tim's Bench was. It's actually a bench. It's actually a bench over there on the riverfront, or not riverfront, the waterfront park in downtown Charleston. And I guess this. So I'll say this. I think that the concept of Uncle Tim's Bench is so cool on a number of different ways. One, as many of you guys probably are aware, Uncle Tim's Bench, what it does is it brings people together, and it puts a bunch of different musicians who haven't played together before, work on Tim's songs, and you get the chance to be part of a collective musical experience. And it puts you in maybe a situation where you would never have been able to be there before. And you get these experiences, you develop. It helps musicians and different people develop, which is an amazing, really cool thing. The concept of, it's like Uncle Tim's workbench. You come on the bench, you're going to get better. You're going to grow. And that's part of the bench. But also, there's another side of it, which is you're the person on the bench that everybody kind of wonders about. Who's that? Who's that guy on the bench that is he crazy a little bit? Like, we don't know. But we like his music. His music sounds really good, and so you're the access to the bench, and it's like this. It's a really cool metaphor. Metaphor isn't. It's like do you know what I'm talking about? It's the character that you've seen in many movies, and you epitomized it and you made it real, and I think it's a really cool access point, the bench. I mean, you probably relate to it. But I guess just this, I'd be curious to hear more about your experience of just the sort of the evolution that's come along with that, the journey of playing on that bench, and how it evolved into playing all these different shows, and just kind of maybe how you see these last, what has it been, 8 years? So
8.5 now, yeah, total.
eight and a half years of different experiences and evolution, and maybe you could just kind of talk about thoughts about, as you reflect on this Charleston experience. Yeah.
The bench is the mother tree. I'll come
Okay.
back. I'll come back any and every chance I get when I'm in Charleston, even if I don't have a guitar in hand, to sit there and ponder. It's a grounding place for me. It is an anchor. It is a protector. The physical location of Uncle Tim's Bench for me it may be a pivotal star in a constellation full of a cluster of different shining lights. That would be one of them. That particular bench to me. I wouldn't be the creator that I am without that physical bench being available at almost all times. If I want to go perform, which I have a compulsion to be in front of strangers making noise, if I didn't have that bench there, I'd be miserable. Because sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, bars and restaurants aren't going to hire you to perform, right? Because they're closed. Sometimes on a cold day,
You're out there at 3 a.m. Sometimes.
I've been there at all hours a day. Yeah,
Okay.
Not as a tradition, but
Sure.
as an anomaly. I would say that.
Are there other folks out there at 3 that you've
there have
been able to play for? Yeah.
Yeah, and
kinda
I
cool.
wouldn't. The times I've been out there in the dark are limited, and
Sure.
probably for the safest. But I have. Oh yeah, I rung in New Year's 2016, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, after I watched the ball drop somewhere. I was at a soiree in a tux. I decided I want to go fucking play music. At 1 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day, 2016. That's where I was, making noise, playing music, singing songs. I have a safe place to go and expose sounds in the park bench in a public setting, in which I, as a performing artist, I need that. I yearn for that, and I hunger for audience the same way that a chef yearns for and needs somebody to taste his food, right? I need that. I need that. It is sustenance for me. And so to expose my craft in a public setting like that, I found a place, and it will continue to be an anchor point for me emotionally and mentally and artistically over my lifetime. I do think I teared up maybe in 2017 there was, or 18, there was a hurricane scare on the coast in the Charleston area, and so I egressed to the Midwest to just get away. All the gigs got canceled because of bars and restaurants being closed. All right, I'm gonna go to Indiana, and I'm gonna play some open mics. And while playing one of my song about the harbor, I started tearing up because I was afraid I was gonna get back to Charleston and the whole boardwalk at Waterfront Park would be destroyed. I was almost certain it was gonna be gone when I got back, and that was only 2 years into discovering Uncle Tim's Bench. I was already tormented by the potential loss of it. I wouldn't be what I am today without it, and I think 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, I'll still be wondering how the bench is doing if I'm not there. I'll be coming back.
Could we hear that song about the harbor?
Yeah, since you're asking. Song is called A Poem for Tala. Tala is an Arabic word which means little palm tree, and I thought it would be an apt pet name for Charleston Harbor, who is personified as a female lover post-coitus in this song. Me and Lady Harbor let the tide slip away, revealing her hands entwined in mine. Safe and sound and sweet and soft beneath the whip of my flags 3. Hello, Carolinopolis, Carolina, my country, 'tis of thee. Quiet under cover of yet another deep blue night, threads of silk in a sateen sky, dimming the gibbous light while 5-tap dancing fingers piano your prickly spine, up and down and up again. A city rhythm in our mind. Baby's breath breathes, billows a sojourning breast. Baby's breath breathing good tidings who beckon me home, home sweet home. That's right. Baby's breath healing my sin sick soul at last, and once and for all. Slip away with me, she says. You are a palmetto, I catch you pom-pomming my skies. Your tippy toes hardly anchored in a wharf. Muddy wharf, we are nestled somewhere halfway up a South Atlantic coast, I tell ya. Brackish, muddy water never felt so warm. And these toes of mine so tickled by the prickles of the fingers of a tide pool, decided to stick around a while to play. Stick around with me, my beloved Lady Harbor. After the sheets over us are done, slipped and slid away. Slip away with me, she says. Slip away with me, she says. Slip away with me, she says. Lady Harbor, she says. Slip away, slip away, slip away with me, she says. The tide pool ripples in our too tiny bed. The surface sparkles ever silver, and I shall sing now to thee. Don't leave thee, my beloved Lady Harbor, intertwined in thee. 5-tap dancing fingers, piano, prickly spine, up and down and up a girl.
Nice. So that's about your experience and how are you connecting to the harbor itself.
It sure is, yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It's sort of a visceral connection to it. That there's no separation. Kind of is some of what I'm.
Oh
I'm getting
yeah.
at.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah. Let's move to let's see. If we talk about let's see if I want to follow up on the sort of your experience overall over these last 8 years of Charleston. You know what? Let's do. Would you be up for doing another song?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we could just do another song. I'm struggling mentally.
Drink some more of that that concoction
Sort of.
you've made there.
It's like I've got maybe I feel like another song will help me.
Yeah, glad to get
All right.
another jingle jangle. Oh, here's this. How about this? All right, so I'm already devising my next project
Okay.
for the big city. Okay.
Okay.
And it's going. I'm at you, Noah Grove. Your bidding and your pressure and your constructive critique
Okay.
over the pros and cons of the Uncle Tim's Bench idea. I'm taking that and I am developing or envisioning a steady band, right?
Okay.
So the band, the idea behind that is going to be sonically the equivalent of a marriage between Jimmy Eat World
Okay.
and Third Eye Blind. I can't get away
can
from
like that.
them. It's going to be darker. It's going to be cleaner. It's going to be faster. There's going to be no harmonica.
Dang.
So folks will have to get their harmonica fixed by coming to my solo folk shows.
Okay.
All right. There will be very, very, very limited use of an acoustic guitar. Again, this is just the ideation phase, but I've already drafted my first, and it's going to be using all of the original material that the Uncle Tim's Bench project has workshopped and prepared. So the project Uncle Tim's Bench being a workshop for original full band arrangements, the world will get to hear the fruits of that, hopefully through this next band that I create. It's going to be called, well, it's not necessarily a super new name for me. I named a full band live album the name. I love it so much. It's called Big Iron Echoes.
Okay.
And just the marriage of Jimmy Eat World and Third Eye Blind. But the 8-song album that I care to develop out of it starts off with Reveille, of course.
Okay.
And, I mean, these are all Uncle Tim standards, right? So Sirens Play would be next. Bowery Bank is Burning. On through the list of more upper tempo, much less folky. The folkiest tune on the album would be Till I Get Dizzy, and I will break out a acoustic guitar for that. But I've already created kind of the demo playlist that I'm going to shop around to musicians who have a little bit faster pace as far as tempo goes when they're playing. Musicians who are probably a little angrier. I need some anger, and I need some grudges to be to be resolved through performing my material. So I'm gonna find some agitated musicians who are gifted, who are surrendered. My goal is to find a group of 4 other men living in New York City who have surrendered themselves to music full time.
So you're talking to New York.
Yeah, this is a New York.
Okay.
This is the New York band.
Yeah.
The first crack at creating a official full, like, steady full band, not a evolving ensemble. I want to throw that out there because I mean some gears are turning, and some of the input that you offered on, what works for Uncle Tim's Bench, what doesn't. Why didn't you take off in Charleston? Why did you get it as successful as you did in Charleston? What could you do different? Well, I'm going to take all of that information, but I'm not going to apply it to Uncle Tim's Bench. Uncle Tim's Bench has a purpose as a collective to help to invitingly and intentionally allow artists, usually the ones who haven't played full-time, to develop your songs into full band arrangements. That might be the lasting legacy of Uncle Tim's Bench when I'm gone. The mechanics of it will ideally down the road, when I have the bandwidth to feed more life into Uncle Tim's Bench, maybe it can still be that, even if not immediately.
Yeah, we talked about we were looking at I was looking at starting up Mike Club again, and we talked about, and this it's not going to happen, at least not now, but we talked about trying to collaborate the idea of Mike Club and Uncle Tim's Bench, how we could work those two things together. That for me, one of the things, I mean, I love the concept of Uncle Tim's Bench because I feel like there was a time in my life where I had a lot of doubt as to whether or not I could even be a musician. And somewhere along the line, now I think of myself as a musician, So the transition occurred, but it wouldn't have happened without things like Uncle Tim's Bench. It wouldn't have happened without things like the guy outside the hostel in Miami that said, "Hey, you can't walk by with a guitar and not jam."
Yeah.
And so I go over there, and now I'm playing out in front of with this guy, random guy in front of a hostel where tons of people are coming in and out in Miami, and I'm nervous as hell. Thinking I'm gonna embarrass myself, and all these people are watching me. I've hardly sung in front of. They think I'm an idiot, or they think I suck, and I'm just so nervous and anxious. And it wouldn't happen without those opportunities where other people created those opportunities to develop. Because where else do you get those? Nobody's coming along and saying, doing it for you. And so and there isn't really. You can go to school kind of, but there's like music schools, but I feel like. To some extent, it's just a matter of you got to get experience. You got to go out there and actually get experience. So Uncle Tim's Bench creates those opportunities for people opportunities that they could not create for themselves. It created opportunities for people at an earlier sort of development point that they could not have had for themselves. And so I just think that's remarkable. We talked about doing. Like a merging of my club where we would have Uncle Tim's Bench would almost become a club, another kind of club, where it's not just necessarily working on Tim Falvey songs, it's also working on other songs. Mm-hmm. And I think that'd be really, I don't know that this is something that's going to happen, or if it's in the distant future, or it's not going to happen, but it is an interesting idea that would sort of live on what Uncle Tim's Bench sort of gave to the community.
And what it gave to me.
Yeah.
I was an athlete and an academic growing up. Art was for girls. That was the message I got. Okay, you can know it exists and you can revere it, but you got to do it from afar. Well, I found out I fucking love art. I really do. And I further found out how wonderful of a feeling it was to create live art and how alive I felt while doing so. And I mean, just the sensation of envisioning playing in a full band was enough to make me get up, man, and figure out a way. I don't know how to play in a band. Yeah. I just had my first gig when I was 30 years old. All right. But I want to play in a band. So here, what do I do? Yep. Well, you find somebody who can do percussion, and you find somebody who can play a guitar. Oh, wait, why doesn't it sound right? Tim, you need to get some bass in there. Okay, let's do that. Like, okay, now what? I don't know. Well, let's just throw pieces together and make something happen. Well, that's what Uncle Tim's Bench was for me. Yeah. Nobody handed it to me.
So it gave you a lot of experience putting pieces together, too.
Yeah.
And seeing how different things come together and different people come together.
Yeah.
So that was probably really, really helpful.
It was enriching for sure. And I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I'll miss the buoyant experience that Uncle Tim's Bench brought about, because I don't think it's going away. Yeah, I'm gonna care to find and identify a cluster of very, very high quality, very intense, and very serious musicians to join me in making a rock band based out of New York. But I'm still gonna need to experiment here and there. I'm still gonna need to, workshop my own material before feeding it to the band, right? Yeah. I'll need it for my own sake, my own material.
I hope you tear it up there in New York. I'll be excited to see. Hopefully you can get some videos or different things to capture, some of the progress that you make and how different things come together. And you're right. It's like we said, nobody does it for you. It's a challenge pulling people together, and New York won't be any different. Even if you are more focused on specific people and a consistent group, and doing what's necessary to keep everybody together and keep everybody motivated, it's still going to be an imperfect thing that you gotta elevate. And yeah, there's never going to be the perfect moment, you know. There's never the perfect moment. It's always you got to make you have what you have to work with, and you got to elevate it. You got to make it better. Got to get up, man.
That's right.
You ready to play another one?
Yeah.
All right.
This is the coffee house and cocktail hour version of Siren's Play. Tune about playing with fire. Lead me not into temptation, but passion overtakes me. Just another troubled troubadour, and only you could shake me. I can't foresee what a magic making right before you take me. Come what may, I let you lead me, only to forsake me. Leave me hanging from my line, you sassy little siren. One more tease like last night's rush, and Dolly, I'll be buying a drink or two for some lost soul who knows my time on stage is flying. I don't mean to make you blue, but sugar, you'll be crying. You'll be crying. Oh, you'll be patty cake, emerald eyes. Shimmy to sway in your red hot tops and white lies. Tiger lily twirling, I take a chance to one knee and cut that little rug as I sing by the sea, by the sea. Shout out to Chris Roberts. It takes the best to know the best, sir. By the sea. By the sea. Please tell me, is pink petal pirouetting mischief really worth the price? I'm all yours for now, but Dolly, forever's just tonight. Tell me that you love me. Did I hear you say it'd be all mine? Faint of heart from your faint of breath, you torment me inside. Click your cobwebs, cut your cuffs, come on. Come on, drop another line. Would you pull me out, break my binds, and drown me in your emerald light? Forever's just tonight. Forever's just tonight. Forever's just tonight.
The minor finish.
That's right.
I like it.
Yeah, and a little dark.
Yeah. It's like I like it. That almost the entire song is more of the. Is everything else major? Yeah, everything else.
Oh
major.
no, there's a minor.
There's a minor.
That same minor chord is in there.
Okay.
In the bridge.
What up, Chris?
All right. Shout out to Chris Roberts of Silk Crow, band who will be joining Uncle Tim's Bench,
Yeah.
and Noah and the Space Ark. What?
Yes, sir.
A week from
Almost today. Tomorrow.
tomorrow. A week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
And My Father's Mustache. in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. A last hurrah for the year for. You guys don't have any public shows, do you? After that, before 2024.
The Space Ark has one. We were playing the washout for New Year's.
Oh, you are.
Yeah,
That's
for New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a last hurrah for Uncle Tim's Bench.
Yeah.
And friends.
Yeah, we're stoked. This is the first time for the collaboration of these three bands. So we're really excited for it.
Yeah.
And also, we haven't been at My Father's Mustache before, so excited for that too.
You played.
I played with you.
Uncle Tim's Bench, a version. That was just a trio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Me, you, and Lou Gonzalez on the drums. Your steady staple of a drummer.
Yep.
And Lou, probably the most involved and committed musician in the Uncle Tim's Bench tenure.
Yeah.
And also, so this is cool. I love seeing this. So the 3-band lineup for December 29th at My Father's Mustache: Noah and the Space Ark, Silk Crow, Uncle Tim's Bench. Well, Noah and the Space Ark's drummer, Lou, has played extensively on the Uncle Tim's Bench ensemble. You've played multiple times on Uncle Tim's Bench. Your bassist, Grant, has played multiple times on Uncle Tim's Bench. Then you jump to Silk Crow. Their drummer, Joe Wood, has played for us. I love seeing this. We've got a cool cast on that date. 2 keyboard players, Eugene Mungin and Chris Grimes, are going to be. Oh yeah, they'll be providing rhythm and lead. Myself, of course. Let's see. Our drummer will be Taylor Blampier. I've never had a gig with him before, but he is absolutely animated and sensational in any number of instruments. His passion is, I think, percussion. At least he's trained in it from his academic years. And then Tim Mason is going to be our bassist. He plays with the band Blime, which is kind of a party pop, energetic weekend cover band. I'm sure in the next year or two, we're going to be hearing them all up and down King Street. He also plays for an Irish rock trio.
Okay.
Yeah, not half Irish, they call themselves. So, an ensemble that hasn't been put together before.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like for the Uncle Tim's Bench on December 29th.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. That's what it's been.
Yeah.
So it's a good way. So this'll. Do you have any other shows lined up for next year?
I decided, like I mentioned, I'll be coming back a couple times a month.
Yeah.
And while I'm here, depending on personal obligations and professional development plans that I make, I would love to gig as much as I can. And just yesterday, I booked something for the Medical University's outdoor greenway space in January. And I'll be open for business in Charleston still, as a soloist anyway, to start out with.
Yeah.
So if you need some singing and strumming, I know a guy.
I was gonna say, I'm jumping tracks here, but it was something I wanted to say from earlier. You talked about with your new sort of vision for Big Iron Echoes that you wouldn't use harmonica,
Right.
and I just think you should look for one song. No?
We'll see.
Are you opposed? I feel like
if I did, I have
Yeah.
3 songs in
Okay,
mind
okay.
on the 8-song initial album concept. One would be Tired Radio,
okay.
possibly to get nasty on in the instrumental outro. Maybe One Hit Wonder.
Yeah.
But and then the most folky song, Till I Get Dizzy. I might throw in a harmonic there, but I really think that changes things up. I'll be able to get my harmonica fix.
Yeah.
if,
Yeah.
Elsewhere.
But I'm just saying, like, from the standpoint of, what you do on a harmonica is special, and it's a shame for people to not even
Okay.
get it through one song. You know
What
what I mean?
about this? What? How about I start another, like, an additional project that's just straight,
too
like,
many
stripped down folk, like.
Yeah.
Stripped down folk music.
you could do
Find 4 or 5 or 6 other full-time folk artists or a duo. Like,
Well, even if you go a harder rock direction, maybe I'm not saying you have to do it. I mean, you get to make your own decisions, but it would. Sometimes it's an interesting angle to throw in an unconventional instrument to a sound. Sometimes you can find the right song. Maybe you would think it doesn't really fit, or overall it's not the right tone. It's not what you want in that. But maybe there's one song where people get a little surprise, a little Easter egg, or.
I won't forget that you threw that out there, that idea.
Are there any experiences that you've had so far in New York? Is there any kind of standout experience of connection with people, or do you have anything that comes to mind as some of your favorite, as a good memory that you've formed already?
I'll just say it's a memory. I pepper
Yeah.
sprayed a guy in Penn Station. This was years. This was years ago, pre-COVID.
Oh, okay.
I took my guitar and a Camelback around the country and into Western Europe as well. And I mean, I tend to look out for myself. I'm alert. And,
Room for almost everybody.
right, man. There was no. I gave him 3 verbal indications that if he did not cease and desist his physical intimidation, taunt, and threat, that I would pepper spray him. So after the 3rd time of telling him, like, all right.
We as musicians, we're all about peace and love, but we'll still pepper spray.
Thing was, so this was an introduction to at least Penn Station in New York. Nobody gave a shit. There was a swarm of people around, but nobody gave a damn.
Yeah.
Like, oh, welcome to New York, Tim. Like,
Nobody cared that you pepper sprayed this guy.
Nobody cared that he was threatening me.
Yeah.
And nobody cared that I pepper sprayed him.
Wow.
And nobody cared that he ran off in visible pain in his face.
Yeah. It's unreal, man.
It's
unreal.
Very shortly thereafter, there was 1 or 2 police officers who walked by. There was no reaction whatsoever. They didn't see the incident, but
yeah, maybe that speaks to maybe what is the biggest epidemic. I think that's actually the right word to use. The biggest epidemic in the world is that everyone sees. Nobody thinks anything is their problem. You pass by something and it's somebody else's job. It's somebody else's problem, and then as a result, it doesn't get addressed. I think I'm over exaggerating, because clearly there are plenty of people that actually do take responsibility for different things that aren't even necessarily their problem or whatever. But it definitely is. I mean, that's a crazy story to think that you have somebody actively threatening somebody, and then they get pepper sprayed, and everybody just walks by like nothing's happening.
yeah. Well, maybe
I'm not surprised, but
maybe it was nobody's problem. Maybe there was no problem. Maybe somebody threatens you, you pepper spray
You
them,
just
and then
handle
it's
it.
over. Boom, you move on. I was busy.
Yeah.
Minutes later, between 5 and 10 minutes later, I was still rattled by the anxiety. I was leaning against a pillar, not very far from where the incident happened. I was writing an email on my phone, because that's what I think I was originally doing when the dude came up to me. And I finally got back to business, blah, 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 type, and I see him come from a corridor, this time with his shirt off, and the orange dye from the pepper spray on his face, and he's just screaming and carrying on. And then he swerves away from me, as he very well should have, almost as if it was an impressive observation. An impactful observation, the whole thing.
So this is why Tim's going to New York. He's done playing harmonica. He's pulling out the pepper spray.
Pulling out the pepper spray. That's gonna be
No, that's a funny story. That's a formative memory.
Oh yeah.
So what about anything?
The real questions.
Well, no, I mean that's a real experience in New York. I don't know that would happen in Charleston exactly. Probably not. It could, but it's probably more likely to happen in New York. But what about? I mean, it's a cultural experience to some extent. It's a cultural experience. It is. What about anything music related?
Anything music related? I think there have been
or just connection. With
plenty
people.
of magical moments that have happened. I am enthralled with and in love with and over heels with the city of New York. I really am. And so I think the moments, the special, unique things that have popped up, musically and otherwise, they just blend into this fabric that is, yes, New York is where I want to be. As far as connections go, I'm very concerted and strategic and deliberate about my approach to moving there, as much as one can be without having a foundation to land on. And so for 6 months, I've traveled once a month to New York overnight to orient myself to the city, its infrastructure, its geography, orient myself to the landmarks, orient myself to the performance venues, to go watch a lot of shows. But I've also been concerted in the business aspect of things. I became a member of the Music Managers Forum of the United States earlier this year. And what that is a trade association made up of all sorts of artists and band managers from around the world. The New York City chapter had its networking or quarterly mixer in October, the day before a performance of mine. And I gussied up and shook hands with music managers and producers and fellow artists and publishers at a music venue, just as a self-managed artist, just so that I could become better aware of the stakeholders in music success. I know that I'm going to need a publisher or publicist, rather. I know I'm going to need an accountant. I know I'm going to need an agent. I know I'm going to need a manager. I know I'm going to need a PR professional, a social media expert, and on and on and on and on and on in my lifetime. Why not start the process now? Why not identify who those people will be? Why not choose who those people will be well before I need them and it's too late? And the momentum and the wave of music energy overtakes me. Like, no, I'm gonna be concerted. I'm gonna make these choices ahead of time. And so, after through that one meeting, I had some really healthy conversations and one-on-one appointments and emails and text messages with a music business attorney who I had coffee with on Monday while I was in the city.
Nice.
A music manager who, very much like me, left everything to pursue a career in the music industry or music-related industry, to chat about questions I have and whatnot. So just, yeah, the potential for business connection is viable there. Turning a little bit of a corner here, some people ask me, Tim, why not go to Nashville?
Sure.
Tim, why don't you go to Austin?
Sure.
Because I'm going to become a business person.
Okay.
I'm going to New York to develop as a business person.
Okay.
As I develop the creator that I know I'm becoming, the artist that I know I'm becoming. If I wanted to perfect the craft of songwriting, yes, hands down, I'm going to Nashville, and I am immersing myself in the songwriting circuit there.
Yeah.
But I think the special leg up that I'll have over other artists who are vying for that same stage time will be that I've sharpened the business acumen. And just by being in New York, where, the general idea that if it doesn't have a dollar sign attached to it, it's not worth my time. If the conversation you and I are having is not efficient, effective, solving a problem or achieving a good objective because of the business that we're both invested in, then we're not going to waste our time having a conversation. Just by being in that type of environment,
Gotcha. Yeah.
hopefully sharpen up my business acumen, and that might give me a leg up over somebody who's really good at songwriting and has stagemanship, but is afraid of asking about fees and pay rates and negotiating and holding labels accountable for contractual terms. And
If it's a career, it's a business, and I think that's a huge part of, or a very area that's prone to failure for artists is the business side of things, because a lot of artists don't want to think of it as a business, but it is, and so if you don't appreciate that, then you're not gonna, you're not gonna check all the boxes. You're not gonna tick all the boxes that need to be all the things that need to be done to make sure that what you're doing is effective or runs well. You know, if you don't treat it like a business, it's just going to fall apart. You're not going to get very far. There's definitely a business side to it that's got to be handled. So that's an interesting, I think a good thought about using New York or your location as a way to better yourself. If you understand sort of the strengths of a city,
Yeah.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
The strength the city has to offer,
Yeah.
how it's going to sharpen you. I mean, I think that's something that maybe a lot of people could benefit. A lot of artists could benefit from, and probably some artists do think. I think there are quite a few artists that do think that way. But yeah, why you would go to Nashville? There are a number of people that left Charleston to go to Nashville in the time that I've been here. People that were reasonably successful in their own way here in Charleston, then setting their sights on Nashville, and I didn't like that. I thought you could do it. I feel like it's well, I don't know. I'm getting off on the tangent here, but I just think that is a really interesting way to think. Is just your overall location. Could you make a better choice just about where you're positioning yourself for your own evolution? And I think that's a lot of what you're
Sure.
talking about in this next chapter of going to New York. And let's what I hit one more point, and then maybe we could close with another song or two.
Okay.
So, oh, maybe this can lead into something. Do you have any goals with? Are you even thinking about recording at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's do you have? What are some thoughts or goals about recording?
Do it clean, do it professional, do it right, and wait till I have assembled the players before I go that route. Once I release something under the moniker Big Iron Echoes, as the case in point here, it's not going to be something that I wonder. It's not going to be something I'm iffy about.
Sure.
Like, I'm going for the gusto, like, next time around.
We want to take time to make sure you develop the project first to a point where you're ready to record.
Yeah.
So what about we can close with talking about what is Big Iron Echoes? Where does the name come from? What's your vision a little bit? What are you wanting to communicate with kind of at least where you're at now? What's your vision?
The aura and the spirit of Big Iron Echoes is intensity and a bit of mysterious ghostliness. There's a heaviness to the spirit of Big Iron Echoes, and it is a force with whom to reckon. Big Iron Echoes comes from there's a line in a folk song of mine, of Uncle Tim's Benches. The song Tiger Lily talks about what happiness is, and it explores happiness through the lens of each of the five senses in the city of Asheville, against the backdrop of a weekend in the city of Asheville, North Carolina. There is a verse that talks about what happiness sounds like. Happiness sounds like those big iron echoes, free falling downtown in the key of D major tonight, baby doll. A big iron backdrop to sour, sweet, squealing, rusty noise. We were singing those Tom Petty songs of good girls and bad boys. Well, Big Iron Echoes refers to the sound of my music while street performing, shooting up this chute in between and among two or three skyscrapers, skyscrapers, we'll say relatively, in Asheville. while I stood with my back against what's called the Flatiron statue, which is a enormous iron statue depicting an iron, as on an ironing board. They call that the Flatiron. My lyrics might have said Flatiron Echoes, but I think I just forgot what the actual sculpture was named, so I called it Big Iron. And I loved it. And Big Iron Echoes being the echoes of power from within, with just a mere utterance of a lyric, of a song that you wrote or a child in you believed in. Big Iron Echoes. Yeah, that song or that lyric might have one syllable, but the wave of echoes gets bigger and bigger. It can get bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So that's the idea behind the name Big Iron Echoes, where it comes from, and kind of the idea for what I want the band to embody. And what started as a seed, a lyric, innocent, an innocent lyric, if maybe just one syllable long, can create a global impact. Big Iron Echo.
Sounds more hopeful and bold than angry.
Okay. In order to move the weight of the machine that is these Big Iron Echoes, this big iron is old and heavy and rusty, buddy. It's old and heavy and rusty. It's a fucking machine. And it needs oiling, it needs polishing, it needs shining, it needs cleaning, it needs some love. That big iron, it's going to take some fucking muscle to push it. Sometimes anger is very, very, very effective at pushing weight. So you might get a taste of attitude in Big Iron Echoes.
All right.
Because we're going to be swinging some bats. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to seeing how that all unfolds and how it all comes together, and certainly as you get towards recording, which may be maybe a year out or something like that. Yeah. We'll look forward to hearing those sounds, man.
I'm throwing this out there. If you're in New York City and you're looking to make some noise, and you're a sharp lead guitarist, bassist, keyboard player, or drummer, and you've demonstrated that you're surrendered to the vocation of music, hit me up and we'll talk, because I would love to consider making noise with you. There we go. I also throw another personal plug. I'll be playing a solo show in Greenwich Village for an hour on Wednesday, January 10th for the New York and surrounding area contingent. Come on out, grab yourself some Italian dinner and some drinks at Carroll Place, and I'll share some tunes with you. Wednesday, January 10th. I will bring the harmonicas for that.
All right. You want to close us out with the song?
Yeah.
All right.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
What's up, DW? Thanks for joining. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation and
Yeah.
the music, and thank you, Tim, for coming and doing another podcast with me.
My 2-year reunion on the Grove
Yeah.
podcast. So 2 years from now, I'll come
Yeah.
back and maybe I'll bring a band with
That
me.
would, that's maybe a huge effort just for my podcast, but
There's
would
room
not
for
turn
everybody on this.
I would not turn that down.
So we'll see when
Yeah.
we string together our East Coast tour, and we'll be playing at Music Farm. This is going to be our pre-show podcast location. All right.
Sounds good.
Speaking of echo, echoes, this is Tired Radio. Tired Radio comes from a lyric in the song Name by Goo Goo Dolls, which happens to be the very first song that I ever learned on the guitar that I stole from my old man. Tired Radio. Play me the first song that you ever learned upon the guitar you stole from your old man. I'll dance naked for you, true story, if you but sing me a little song and awaken the child within. Moonlight defiant could never ever save her from drowning in the swell of nappy locks and at least 4 or 5 bad decisions, Marlboros they were, and that salty folly water smell. Here we go. Mind your pints and quarts, she'd say. Gave me several warnings. I was counting on her, but she was counting bad pennies just down. Don't count on her in the morning. Don't count on her in the morning. Lost loves, distant echoes in the substrate of your mind. A little lesson learned, another stone unturned, a birthday card on time. I was so lucky to have loved you, even luckier you once loved me. I know you loved me first, but I'm just another one of your bad pennies. Mind your pints and quarts, she'd say. Gave me several warnings. I was counting on her, she was counting bad pennies just down. Don't count on her in the morning. Don't count on her in a echo, 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 echo. Echo, 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 echo. I was transcribing transcriptions, frenetic in prose. Prose like a river while I work in a hot room. A room full of underage women and a van of 4 underpaid men. Men frankly speaking in tongues to the moon. A moon sign of mystery and a star sign of curse. We were cursing the death of the summer deep into the fall as it's falling on deaf ears instead of sounding and a pounding and a pounding of my neighbors against the bathroom wall. Echo, 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 against the bathroom wall. Echo, 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 against the bathroom wall. Echo, 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 against the bathroom wall. Echo, 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 echo. Mind your pints and quarts, she'd say. She gave me several warnings. I was counting on her, she was counting bad pennies just down. Count on her in the morning. Thank you, Noah Grove.
Thank you, Tim Falvey. Thank you, Tim Falvey of Uncle Tim's Bench, for joining me tonight in the studio. Thank you guys out there for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed everything. Tim is going to be back again next week with the band, or with a band,
With the Uncle Tim's Bench Ensemble.
with the Uncle Tim's Bench Ensemble.
Representing the bench on the 29th of
Do you know?
December.
Is it going to be the same group?
Same group, buddy.
That's awesome.
Same group as the show. Yeah.
That's
as the My Father's Mustache show.
So they're going to be here next Wednesday.
That's right. Yep.
And so we'll hear that in. You guys, anybody that's looking to come to the show, you'll get a little prequel.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you again, Tim, and we'll see you next Wednesday. I'll see you next
Sounds good.
Wednesday. Thanks again, everybody out there. If you liked it, give it a like. Tell people about it.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash it. And then you can follow Uncle Tim. You can follow Tim Falvey at Uncle
Smash
Tim's
that-
Bench. That's
Smash that button.
UNCLETIMBENCH. Yeah, it's the button somewhere around there. All right, you guys.
Smash it.
Peace out. Thanks, guys. Everyone, have a great night.